Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the July 14th meeting of the Solvang City Council. Madam Clerk, would you please take roll call? We're starting at 6:31.
Councilmember Infante.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Claudia Rona.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Elizabeth Arona.
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to see, Jamie, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening? Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Okay. We have no proclamations. We don't have any presentations, so we'll go straight to public communication. I don't have any slips. Is there anyone here that wants to make public comment?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Jose Acosta. I'm the utility director here for the city of Solvang. And what I wanted to do this evening is give the community some notification on the project that we're about to kick off. It's the Nyborg Estates Water Mainline Project. There was an initial public announcement sent out in utility bills quite a while back, giving the public some notification on that. I feel it's important that we continue communication on this, as this is a local area of transportation, mode of transportation through the city, especially as we get closer to the winter months and the summer months when people are trying to circumvent the traffic down 246. So want to give some important dates. We're looking to kick off the project this coming Monday, the 21st. Tierra Contracting will be out there doing the mainline replacement. There'll be a lot of construction, a lot of machinery out there. They are aware that dust control, noise control must be monitored, and that we will respond if needed. On the second public announcement that we'll be sending out in this month's utility bills, there is some contact information. My information is there for the city. We have our engineering consultants' information on there as well, and we also have the contractors' information on there. So if the public has any concerns or issues, I recommend they contact me first, and then they can go down in order for anything that happens out there. I don't know if there's any questions, but like I say, the second public notification will be coming out in this month's utilities bills. We posted this on our website. We've also posted on our social medias as well. So thank you.
Much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, any other comments? Mr. Peterson?
Evening, Aaron Peterson, Solvang, California. I'm just here to, it's not on the agenda, obviously, but we're debating vacation rentals, short-term rentals in town. It will be coming up in a week or a month or whenever it comes up. So I'm just going to keep coming every time and chatting against it. Don't really see the reason as to why we want to have vacation rentals in our residential zoned areas. Very quickly, it brings strangers into a neighborhood of a little tiny town, unnecessary. Brings noise to a residential neighborhoods, unnecessary. Brings parking, which we already have our locals complaining about in our residential zones. It takes TOT from our hotels, which is unnecessary when we have a commercial zone. We have traffic problems already in town, and we have safety issues with traffic in our town, in our commercial areas, to then push it into residential areas, I think is unnecessary. It also drives up apartment cost. We just went through a rezone of all these parcels in town, foisting into residential areas because we had to. We are forced by the state. Now we're going to take residential areas and allow them to be commercially zoned. What would possibly be the reason to do that when we have 105 units and we've got 40 units, and we got 30, and I'm on planning commission, so I get it, what we had to do. Unnecessary to do. Whether technically they don't count into that RENA numbers, I get it, but we're really skirting the issue as to affordable housing in our town. We'll have absentee owners who will own these houses and rent them out as vacation rentals because they can bring in more money, additional money. We have locals in our town who are angry at people like myself who have commercial properties, and we bring in more tourists. We have a visitors board that brings in more tourists. Why would we possibly take this and put it into residential neighborhoods? It makes absolutely no sense. I have friends and family who live in Coronado Island. I rent vacation rentals there. In Bellevue, Washington, I rent them there. Mercer Island, I rent them there. San Clemente, I rent them there. The Mesa in Santa Barbara, I have friends who live next to and do them. And we all talk about when we make them long-term residential. They'll have to be 28 days or 30 days or 29 days. We don't want them to be unlawful detainer homes, so we'll keep them under the 30 days. I don't understand it. I'm renting a vacation rental in Coronado for the month of September. Myself, 5-bedroom. Am I going to be in 5 bedrooms? No, I'm going to bring, and according to the realtors, I can bring these friends down, and then this family down, and then other friends down. And we can just keep rotating them through, which is housing, which is noise, which is new people. No one's going to rent a place for 28 days. I don't understand it. It makes absolutely no sense as far as I can tell as to why we're doing it. To make some TOT money and make all the locals angry, more angry at us that are doing it. We have a commercial zone. We should not expand into residential.
Thank you.
I'll come at the next month, and then until it comes up. I'll
Well-
get my 3 minutes every time.
No, you only have 2 left.
I'm out.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Any other public comment? Oh, thank you. Okay.
Hey there. Laser Friedman, resident of the city of Santa Barbara and a contractor for the city of Solvang. And I just wanted to bid you all adieu. I will be moving to the East Coast. This is my last meeting. Been doing this since 2021, but I leave you in good hands. So just wanted to say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you and
Thanks,
Godspeed.
Laser. Good
Yeah.
luck on your move.
Thank you very much. Okay. Anybody in Zoom? Anybody else in the room? Okay, we'll move on to city manager's report and advanced calendar.
Good evening. Repeating the invitation or announcement rather about our community cleanup on August 16th, the third Saturday of August. The flyer that went out that was posted says parking lot 4. We are changing that to parking lot 5, which is the lot across the street here from City Hall and the fire department, largely due to the fact that we lose parking in lot 4 for a majority of the day, and it's just determined to be a little bit easier and more conducive to allowing our visitors to have a place to park, since we don't use that lot for parking right now except for equipment. So we're changing that. That will be going out on our social media. So I wanted to make that announcement. Also, you may have seen the sign on the front door here at City Hall. There's a junior entrepreneur workshop going on Tuesdays for the month of July, with culminating with a junior entrepreneur fair on Wednesday the 30th. I believe that's going to be out at the Music in the Park location. So that's an opportunity for our youngsters to learn how to operate a business. It's being put on by our Parks and Rec department. And the last announcement I have is that Caltrans will be doing a meeting here in this room on Thursday, August 7th. I believe the meeting starts at 5 p.m. and it is about the bridge over Alamo Potato Creek adjacent to Alamo Potato Road, talking about the design. It's a public outreach. It's about environmental reports and all that kind of fun stuff. So if you have any questions about that project, want to learn more, obviously the time and place to be here is at City Hall on August 7th, beginning at 5 p.m. Upcoming advanced calendar items, we'll be bringing a special event guidelines update in early September. We'll be bringing a discussion before council about our urban growth boundary later in the year, probably November timeframe, and a few other projects. 3CE will be doing a presentation in October. PG&E will be doing a presentation in late September, and our new our police chief, the Sheriff Lieutenant Travis, will be here at our next meeting to talk about the statistics and relative issues regarding crime stats from last year. If you recall, we were transitioning with Mark Valencia leaving, and we'd never had that report. So I've asked him to do a report based on 2024 numbers, and then early next year we'll get 2025 numbers. And that's all I have for now.
Thank you. Any questions for the manager?
Randy, what is the start date for the Alisal Creek Bridge project? Did we say fall?
It's the Alamo Pintado Creek.
Sorry, Alamo Pintado Creek.
Yeah, that meeting is on August 7th here in City Hall. It's a Thursday.
When does the work actually start?
Sorry?
When does the work on the bridge actually start?
Oh, it's still about 2 years out.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Madam Clerk, would you read item 5? We're going to move on to item 5 now.
Government Code Section 53232.3D, AKA AB 1234, and Government Code Section 84308, AKA SB 1439, SB report out, ex parte communications, council comments, requests.
Thank you. Start on this end. Any comments or?
I just have one thing. On the June 26th, I attended the groundwater extraction fee meeting in Santa Ynez. It was standing room only, so I opted to come back here to this room and just watch it on Zoom because I really didn't have any comments. I just wanted to see what was going on. So that's it. That's about it.
Anything?
I don't have anything to report, but I was just wondering if we could find it to add it somewhere in the budget to add a water bottle filling station right here instead of the traditional drinking fountains.
Okay. You know how expensive Solvang water
Yeah.
It
is.
could be a storage unit for the city.
Yeah, I'm a doom prepper, so yeah, safety third and stuff.
Thank you. Well,
I do have one thing to report, which was my attendance on the board for the Eastern Management District workshop for the groundwater rate review. And I didn't know you were there, Louise, because it was so full. I guess I didn't see you, but it was a well-attended meeting and a long set of commentaries from the community that we tried to hear as best as we could.
I was at that meeting as well. And the reason I know Louise was there is because we came back here, we wanted to give up seats to the citizens that were there to speak. So Jose had set it up back here with the camera, so we were logged in and could see everything on the meeting, and we sat in here and watched that meeting, and my wife and I for a while, and then I had to go to a different meeting, which is the next subject. So I was at the library advisory meeting the day before that. This is, in case you don't know, the library here is part of the Santa Barbara section of the library where we share. And then I had to leave early on that meeting because I had to go to the Friends of the Library meeting, which is for the Solvang Library alone, which we held over in the courtroom over in the Vets Hall building. That's it.
okay, my turn. I get to shout out to a lot of folks here. But first, the first thing I'd like to do, I'd like the support of our board up here to wish Anna Marie a very happy birthday today. You're a treasured and very personable player in our team, and much appreciated. Thank you.
Yes.
And there's, in her honor, there are cookies over here for anybody that wants a cookie. We didn't bring a birthday cake because we couldn't get a burn permit for the candles, but but we appreciate it, and we're delighted that you're here and having a birthday with us. Thank you. All right.
last week I was at the Vandenberg Space Force Base in the changing of the commanders from Colonel Shoemaker to Colonel Horn. And great event, and the Lieutenant General was there presiding, and it was a very nice event with a lot of dignitaries from other cities, and the congressman and the assemblyman, and the senator had representation there as well, and some press. So it was a nice event. Then I want to thank the staff and everybody that helped with the 4th of July parade. It was a success in every category. The parade, the fireworks, all of it. It was pretty funny on the city float. The water gun didn't work. The fuse had gone out, and while we're traveling down Mission Drive, Nathan is walking alongside, fixing the fuse box to fix this, and he got the water to work, and everybody got wet. So it was a great day, and thank you to Nathan. Thank you for Elise for putting it all together in the decorations. Almost single-handedly did all that for the decorations and so forth. Nathan drove, and also we had a great team of Public Works helping with crossings and keeping everybody moving safely, and just a really nice day and a good representation of Solvang. Thank you. Great teamwork on that. And then I was at the North County Subregional SB SCAG meeting, and I was here in these rooms, and that was also last week. And then I want to also thank Laser for their endeavors over the past number of years, for always being here and never a glitch. I say never, but rarely, okay? But we appreciate you, and thank you for your years of service as well. And then I wanted to thank Olivia and her team. They did a lunch brunch for the United Way in Santa Barbara County. And we got some feedback from them, and it was a very nice event, and they appreciated their efforts for putting on the lunch brunch. Lunch bunch. I didn't know much about it, but I heard it was successful, and they were the people that made it happen. Then finally, I'm going to thank the Los Olivos Rotary. They bestowed upon me a Paul Harris Award at the end of the month, last month, and I was very proud to get that. So that's what I have for our shout outs and ongoings for our endeavors. So thank you, Randy, to your team, doing a great job. All right. I think we'll move on to, unless there's follow-ups, anything? Okay. Let's move on to item 6, if you'd read that for us, please.
Consent is for routine administrative city matters and is approved with one vote. Members of the public were afforded an opportunity to speak during public communications portion of this agenda.
Thank you. Does anybody have any concerns about the order of the agenda or any items A through K?
Nope.
I will entertain a motion to approve the consent.
I'll make a motion to approve consent items 6A through K, I believe.
Right.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve items 6A through K. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Infante.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Claudia Rona.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Elizabeth Arona.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Okay. Our next item on the agenda is number 7. Would you read that for us, please?
Public hearing for resolution number 25-1299, ratifying fiscal year 25-26 appropriation limit.
Thank you. Staff report, please.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, members of the public. Tonight, we're asking for ratification of the appropriation limit for fiscal year 25-26. Last, at the June 23rd meeting, you guys approved the resolution adopting the appropriation limit of $26,362,892. However, the public hearing notice was not published for 15 days. It was published for 12 days. And although the information was available to the public did not know because we need to notify the public for 15 days. So before you tonight, it's ratifying the, adopting the resolution, ratifying the appropriation limit, and that appropriation limit has not changed.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll open it to public comment. Is there anybody on Zoom or in the room that would like to make a comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll close public comment and bring it back to council for discussion or motion. Is this just a motion, or are we just accepting it again because you didn't get the 15 days in?
It's a motion to adopt the resolution to ratify the appropriation limit.
I'll move. We adopt the resolution to meet the limit.
I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded for the approval of item 7A. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Infante.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Claudia Arona.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Elizabeth Arona.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Would you help us and read item 7B, please?
Public hearing for adoption of Resolution 25-1298, amending the safety element of the Solvang General Plan to incorporate the adopted Local Hazard Mitigation Plan and update Figure SAF 8 Fire Hazard Severity Zones.
Thank you. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. So this evening, we will go over some proposed elements to, or proposed amendments to our safety element. So the safety element was last updated in 2024, actually last July. The city incorporated its local hazard mitigation plan, or LAHMP, in the element, which was adopted in 2023. So what that means is there's a text that basically incorporates that mitigation plan into our safety element. Federal Disaster Mitigation Act requires local governments, including ourselves, to develop and submit plans to be considered for funding. Cities must have an LHMP adopted, which we have done. AB 2140 requires certain language for cities to be eligible for these funds. So the city must include certain language in our safety element to be compliant with AB 2140. Based on a review from Cal OES in the winter of this past year, it looks like we don't have the included language, so therefore we are proposing consistency with AB 2140 this evening to amend our safety element. So we are proposing to add a new section. It says relationship to the local hazard mitigation plan. So that way it outlines what the local hazard mitigation plan does. And we've also included a new policy, SAF 1.10, that specifically adopts the LHMP as a part of the general plan. So in our current safety element, we just have text that alludes to it. Now we're just being extremely specific that we are adopting it. We are adopting as part of the safety element. Also, as a part of the general plan amendment, we did have fire severity maps that were included. So we are proposing that we replace figure SAF 8, the fire hazard severity zone map, with the recently adopted CAL FIRE severity zone map that you adopted in June of this past year. So it'll rectify everything, so it's now all consistent. So again, this is the map that was recently adopted. It will now be included as a part of our safety element. As a part of all of our proposed projects, we do need to do what's called a CEQA review, or California Environmental Quality Analysis. And in this instance, the guideline section 15061B3 exempts the project that would have no potential for causing a significant impact. As the language being added is added and amended, the safety element incorporates the already adopted LHMP. And the LHMP contains goals objectively for not only responding to hazards and emergencies, but also proactively mitigating those harmful effects to our environment. So the Planning Commission did hear this item back in June of last June, and they are recommending the City Council amend the safety element of the Solvang General Plan to ensure consistency with state law, as well as ensure the city can be reimbursed for costs incurred by any natural disasters that may come, and also recommend that the fire safety map be updated, which is figure SAF 8, and this be reflected in the updated map. And with that, I'll open up to questions from the council.
Thank you. Any questions? One of those summer days, you know? I think it's too much birthday cake, maybe. Yeah, that's what it is. How does this change what we have from either from zoning or it's just a safety issue? Or?
It doesn't change anything. It's just adopting in plain face language to the state of California that we are incorporating the local hazard mitigation plan
Okay.
that we've already adopted.
Okay.
It's
Mr.
pretty
Murphy?
procedural, right, Raphael?
Extremely procedural.
I wanted to add that AB 2140 was passed by the state legislature in 2006. It has language that says if we have this hazard plan adopted into our general plan and the safety element of our general plan, that we would be eligible in most instances to receive 100% disaster relief funding of eligible projects. So if it had been in place for the January 23 storms, it would have been an additional roughly $40,000 we could have received because the way it works is the feds paid 75%, the state pays 75% of the remaining 25%, which leaves 6.25% for the local jurisdiction to pay for. And it's almost always general fund dollars. And so that this had been in place at that time, we would have received those additional funds. I didn't go back to look at any other disaster declarations, but this protects us going forward in event of an actual declared disaster. And the state, it's coming from the state, not the feds. So assuming the state has budgeted funds to pay for it, we would be eligible to receive those funds and reduce the impact on the local budget.
Thank you. Did you have a question, Ms. Rona?
How did you read my mind? I don't think I said anything. But
You started to speak when he was speaking.
you just said something that makes me just out of curiosity. You said if the state has budgeted, but these are unpredictable events. So does that mean the state holds in reserve, or is there a cap to what's available to us should we experience an emergency?
As I understand it, each disaster obviously is unique and they have reserves for these kinds of events. But if it's a major, like a multi-jurisdictional kind of disaster or several in a row, that those funding sources could be depleted. And so they might decide that they can't afford to pay our portion. But I would say, majority of the potential circumstances, we would expect to be funded at 100%.
Thank you. I'm going to open it up now to public comment. If there's anyone in the room or on Zoom that would like to participate or share on this matter. I don't see any, so I will close public comment and bring it back to council for discussion or a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 251298 to amend the safety element of the Solvang General Plan and add and incorporate the LHMP to the plan.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve item 7B. Would you please take roll call?
Councilmember Infante.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Claudia Bruna.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Elizabeth Arona.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
thank you. Okay, we're moving on to item 8A. Would you read that to us for the record, please?
Cross-connection control, updated cross-connection control plan, and introduced for first reading by title only, ordinance 250383, amending the city's cross-connection program and making a determination of exemption under the California Environmental Quality Act.
Thank you. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, members of the public. Again, my name is Jose Acosta. I'm the utility director here for the city of Solvang. And tonight what we're bringing forth to you is the newly revised cross-connection control plan and also a first reading of ordinance 250383 to modify city code for Title IX, which is the current cross-connection program. So within your packet, you should have found the newly adopted and submitted cross-connection control plan for the city of Solvang, which was submitted to the State Water Resources Control Board back in June. There's also a letter in there from the State Water Resources Control Board accepting the plan as approved. There's also the copy of the ordinance, which would modify code, and also a legislative red line of the current current code and the changes that are being requested in that code. So back in December of 2023, the State Water Resources Control Board adopted a new cross-connection controls policy handbook. Within that cross-connection control policy handbook, each agency was required to submit a new cross-connection control plan, a local cross-connection control plan, by July 1st of 2025. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we have submitted our plan. It has been approved and accepted by the state. That was in conjunction with our consultant Tetra Tech, which we approved that contract earlier this year to help compile that plan and get it submitted to the state.
Jose, can I interrupt you 1 second?
Yes.
For those of us that are non-technical and other people, explain to them what is a cross-connection and why do we need it?
So the cross-connection program is where you must have a backflow device which prevents any backflow or siphoning from any businesses or residents back into the system. There's possibilities of a siphonage or under pressuring of a system. If there's a mainline break, you can get back pressure or back siphoning from residents or businesses. So what we do is we require that each of the businesses have a backflow device in there. The backflow device is a preventer, which must be tested annually. Those tests must be submitted by a licensed plumber and a licensed tester for those backflow devices. So it's a way of preventing any back siphonage into the system and protecting the city's plumbing system. So some of the key changes with this ordinance are some updated definitions that were included in the cross-connection plan. There's also hazard assessments, which must now be completed within a 5-year period. These hazard assessments will require staff to visit residential properties or conduct a surveillance, aerial surveillance of the properties to see if there's any possible cross-connection concerns on those properties. Some that could be on there are pools. If there's a pool on the property, we will require you that you put a backflow device onto your property. Backflow prevention requirements, they've expanded some of the requirements that are required on residential properties and commercial properties as well. Testing and certifications, new certification standards and field testing procedures for the backflow program were updated in this new control plan that was submitted. And service termination and hearings, we've enhanced the service termination for possible backflow requirements that aren't being met. If a customer refuses to install a backflow device or if they fail to get it tested and submit those results to the city in a timely manner. There's also a hearing that they can attend with the city council to hear them out, and the council can give direction to staff to take other actions. So staff is recommending this evening that the city council receive and file the city's cross-connection control plan, which was included in your packet, and also introduce the proposed ordinance amending Chapter 4 of Title 9 of the City Municipal Code for the first reading by title only. This time, I'll take any questions from council.
Oh, yeah. Got a few for you. The cross connection makes a lot of sense. It keeps the water safe that we drink. You talked about a hazard analysis. What would set off a hazard analysis?
So it's now a requirement from the state that each property conduct a hazard assessment. One way that we can conduct the hazard assessment is through self-verification. So what we would do is we would send postcards or letters to residents asking them to self-identify any cross-connection. A perfect example is a swimming pool or improperly installed plumbing devices within the house. So like if we did an aerial surveillance using Google Earth and we saw a pool and it didn't have a device, then we're definitely going to make a home visit to speak with that customer.
If they don't have a pool, they don't require a backflow?
At this time, it's not in the cross-connection control plan that they have a backflow device if they do not have a cross-connection hazard on property. Other ones could be ponds. If they have a pond on property and they fill it with the water hose, that's a possible cross-connection because you could put the hose in the pool. If there's a back siphonage, that water could come back into the system.
Thank you.
And on that topic, Jose, which businesses would be required to have a cross-connection hazard review?
I believe all commercial business and
commercial.
irrigation.
So no exemption for commercial, they have to find a way to comply.
That is correct. And I will say this, the community is very good about being compliant right now. So this is just to reinforce the plan and make sure that they're following policy.
So that is one of my questions, because in the packet you've provided a whole host of, I think, a list of APNs,
Yes.
but it doesn't give me a sense for like, how compliant are we? And it sounds like we still need to do some assessment to make sure we've covered every business and every potential resident. What would you rate us right now in terms of meeting? We've been at this, I think, maybe a year or two.
No, so the city had a prior cross-connection plan and program in place, and I would say the city is probably within 95% compliant. We do have an annual renewal for certification and testing, and most commercial businesses and residential people have submitted their test results satisfactorily. This is just to enhance it and check those properties that aren't required currently to have a backflow, to just be able to do a hazard assessment on their property and ask for self-verification in case we have to enforce putting a backflow in.
Here's a goofy question for you. The house I bought had a jacuzzi in the backyard. It's got a backflow preventer. We took the jacuzzi out. Can I get rid of my backflow preventer?
At this time, you can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I pay every year to have somebody come down and test that thing, and I don't have a need for it. That's what you're telling me. Excellent.
As long as you can prove and we can do an inspection that the jacuzzi has been removed.
I have a question. Yeah, in regards to enforcement, do we keep track of who has backflow devices? Is there a program to check annually on?
Yes, the utility billing personnel has all that information in a database here with the city. They mail out the notification saying your device must be tested by this date and you must submit it by this date. They give them a first initial notification. If they don't comply, they give them a second notification. And then, like I say, we're about 95%. We get compliant with most residents and commercials.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I had a couple questions. What's the annual cost to our city for enforcing this?
It would be staff time based off of how long it takes to conduct these hazard assessments. Again, this is a new plan, a new requirement for this backflow prevention policy. So we don't have a dollar figure now. I would say we're looking probably at about, you could be looking at anywhere between several hundred hours of staff time to conduct these. We also have the contract with Tetra Tech to assist with this as well, so they will be assisting with that as well.
Okay, and the devices themselves, those are paid for by
The customer.
the water customer?
Yes, the customer must pay to install them and have them tested.
Okay. And then I had a question on item, well, it's page 579. I'm trying to scroll through to that spot. You have a list of vendors there of qualified folks that can do it. 579 is what I put on. Is that right? Okay, maybe that's a difference.
I know what
Yeah.
you're referring to. It is in
It
there.
was.
Is it the testers, certified testers? vendor program?
Certified testers, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what page it is, obviously, because I thought that's what it was.
So if I can, annually, and if you're a certified tester, you must submit a copy of your certification to the city, so that way you can be on our approved list. We use this list and we provide this to the public for when they are required to do their testing. They must renew their certification annually and show that they are.
What page is that? 537. Overshot the runway.
They also must show that their equipment's properly calibrated each year, that they can properly test the devices.
Okay. Yeah. The, and are we obligated to list all the vendors that provide this in the, where's this information going to be kept?
This information is kept here.
Or updated?
It's kept here at City Hall, and when a customer requests that, if we have a list of vendors, we will provide this. And we are required to keep it updated with anyone who submits their certifications, only so we don't show bias and we don't have just exclusionary vendors on here.
Okay. So we couldn't list the Solvang ones on top and the other ones out of towners from?
We could if we listed it by city. We listed alphabetically, but if we wanted to change that, we could.
If we did that, Buellton would get all the business, but that's not what I had in mind. Okay. I wanted to make sure I didn't step on it. Okay, and then this, we'll have to get, is the city compliant with its own water use for irrigation and all our buildings?
Yes, all our backflow devices are tested internally. We have 2 staff members in the water department who've went out and got certified in testing the devices.
Okay. Okay.
Jose, just out of, if we did not take state water, would we still have this obligation as a city and for our business and residents?
Yes, we would. It's a
Okay.
state requirement.
It's a state requirement. Okay.
Okay. So, going back to that other question, these vendors, are they exclusive or can other people come and go on this list?
As many people that want to submit their certification can
So long as
come
they're
and go.
certified to, okay.
Yes.
Or have that license to say they can provide a certificate to the homeowner or business.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? I'm going to open it up now to public comment. If there's anybody on Zoom or in the room that would like to comment. Nope. I don't see anybody here, so I will now close it for public comment and bring it back to the council for further discussion or a motion.
If I may, Mayor, just to clarify that there's 2 motions to be had for this item that Jose presented. One is just to receive and file the cross-connection control plan, and then the second motion would be to introduce for first reading ordinance number 250383.
Okay. So it's item 8A I and then item 8A double I. Okay.
Well, I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to receive the first reading of the ordinance 250383 and to introduce the first reading of the municipal code cross-connection program. Is that right?
No. Can we move to do both at the same time?
We have to
So-
do separate?
Well, you,
I'm just pausing because you said receive the ordinance, but I think you meant receive the cross-connection control plan, correct?
Yes, I thought that's what I said, but will you make the motion again?
Thank you.
Okay, I'll make the motion to introduce, right, the first reading of ordinance 250383 and to receive the first reading of the city's cross-connection plan.
And the first reading is when you introduce the ordinance, it's introduction for first reading. So that's one thing. And then it's just receive and file the cross-connection control plan. But yeah, I think you got the
As you
ordinance
said.
part.
So
Yeah.
moved.
Yes.
Okay.
and seconded.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept item 8A. I think that's double I. Is that the one that, am I,
My understanding was she was making a motion,
Or-
Councilmember Rona was making a motion for both together,
okay,
which is,
Yes.
Fine.
Your outline has two
for both.
items and the
It's
agenda-
been moved and seconded to approve both items for 8A. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Infante,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Claudia Arona,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Elizabeth Arona,
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
thank you. Sorry. We're going to move on to item 8B. And I don't know who the staff. Are you ready for us? Staff report, please. Oh, actually, may I ask the clerk to please read this into the record?
Approval of Wildan Engineering and Four Leaf Inc. contracts for building official services plan review and inspection.
Thank you. Staff report, please.
Yes, so before you this evening are two agreements. One is for building review and building inspection and building official services for Wilden Engineering, who is our current provider for building services. The second agreement is for Four Leaf to also provide similar services, however, on an on-call basis. The Wildan Engineering contract is not to exceed $300,000 for the term of July 14th, 2025 to June 30th, 2027. And the Four Leaf contract is not to exceed $50,000 for the term of July 24th, 2025 through June 30th, 2027. Now, the city staff did complete what's called a request for proposal, an RFP, in May of 2025 for building plan check, review, inspection, and building official services. We did receive 8 proposals for these services, and currently Wildan Engineering is providing these services, with the exception of Public Works and Engineering Review. As a part of the previous contract, Wildan would receive 80% of the plan check fees, and staff is paid at an hourly rate. Just one thing to consider that over the last few years, Wildan has, their fees have substantially dropped, particularly over this past year. There's been a 43% reduction from the previous fiscal year as our department, the Community Development Department, has added a development service technician. We've expanded our counter coverage and therefore reduced Wildan's coverage. So Wildan was coming in both Tuesday and Thursday and manning that the planning or the building counter, and we've augmented that with our own services. So therefore, there's been a reduction in terms of what we've been paying out. Additionally, city staff recently revised fees to capture basically additional fees as these building plan check reviews are basically based on either new tenants or property owners that come in and want to do improvements to their properties, so therefore they're utilizing the services. So just something to note that city staff does lack sufficient sort of expertise in plan review and various inspection services. So that's why we contract them out, and these are required by the California Building Code. So essentially what we're trying to do is extend these contracts to two different companies, both Willdan as the primary company receiving the work and Four Leaf as the on-call to have greater flexibility and coverage for the legally required building services. So the fiscal impact is approximately $200,000, which is currently budgeted for the 2025-2026 fiscal year. And the costs incurred are recovered again, as I said, through permit and inspection fees. So with that, I'll open up any questions to the council may have.
Okay. I had a quick question. We've been using Willdan for some time, I understand, and we asked them to cover a claim that was not honored by them, I guess, to say anything else. Could you give us additional information on that? We had a conversation there, and I'm not sure if it's the same organization.
It is the same company, yes.
What can you tell me about that? I'm going to the credibility of Willdan real quick, and they're working with Solvang.
There was a claim filed in small claims court against the city by somebody who felt that we were liable for approving a permit and then rescinded it. Willdan disagreed with the request for them when we tried to tender it to them, and we indicated we would consider that when we were reviewing future opportunities. Upon receiving the application or the proposals from 8 firms, and given that there have been no recurrences of those circumstances, staff felt that it was in our best interest to continue the relationship with Willdan.
Okay, can you tell me what the outcome of that small claims was?
The court found in our favor that ultimately we weren't responsible.
Thank you.
And to add, generally speaking, most of our contractors have been extremely pleased with Willdan's inspection services. So we've garnered no complaints against our inspector at Willdan. And generally speaking, Willdan has actually been adhering to the timeframes that have recently been established by city staff over the last year. So they've been very gracious in terms of going through our process, in terms of our department updating our timeframes and revamping the way we run our building review plan checks in order to meet newly adopted timeframes. And Willdan has been extremely responsive on questions that we do have. But again, we are requesting a second firm just in case, again, providing that flexibility for us to go out and potentially give additional work to another company if we get very busy and the timeframes are not met.
So are these exclusive contracts then? Do we have choices for other, they get the bulk of our work, I understand that, but if we're busy or slammed, we'd go someplace else, or?
Yeah, so the idea, and other municipalities who have this have this alternative, the idea is if one company is sort of failing to be responsive or has basically said, hey, we have too much work on our hands, and we're quickly able to shift over to the next company and provide, give that out as a part of their on-call services. So in this instance, Four Leaf, which also rated very highly, has the ability to bring in inspectors very quickly to the city for jobs and or do plan check review, all being an electronic aspect.
And then finally, do either of these vendors, they use any office resources or city resources throughout the week?
At this point, they only Willdan only utilizes our computer to log in the inspections as well as our phones. But aside from that, everything is now done electronically. Previous, they were utilizing our office space for manning the building desk, essentially the building counter. They had logins, et cetera. So that is being phased out. And again, we're utilizing their services more offsite since we've gone to all electronic plan checks.
Other questions?
I will then open it up to public comment, if there is any. It's been quiet. Very quiet, almost eerie. But if there's no comments on Zoom and no comments physically, we will now close it for public comment and come back to the council for discussion and action. I'll move that we approve the agreement with Wildan Engineering for the building plan review.
I'll second.
Can I ask the maker to redefine their motion, please? Maybe with the help of council?
Before you on this item, there are two contracts. One's with Wilden Engineering and the other one is with Four Leaf. So the motion could be amended in a friendly manner to add the Four Leaf contract as well, or we can have a new motion.
I thought it would be two motions, but if you wish, I will be glad to modify my motion to approve the agreement with Four Leaf for the building plan review as well as the approval of the Wildan Engineering.
And I will second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the contracts for items 8B. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Infante.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Claudia Rona.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Elizabeth Arona.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to item 8C. Would you read that into the record for us, please?
Approval of XIT Inc., DBA XIT Solutions contract for surveillance cameras and related services.
Thank you. Staff report.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. I will do my best Olivia impersonation. Consistent with goal number 6, the council adopted at their goal-setting session March of last year, analyze means to improve police response and enforcement, including private security and, wait for it, technology and increased sheriff services. We present to you tonight a contract with XIT to provide those services, specifically in 7 locations throughout the city, and to help fulfill this goal. We coordinated with the county sheriff's department on locations to put these cameras, and we submitted released an RFP, and 5 proposals were received by the deadline. Working with the sheriff's department, we identified locations throughout downtown based on safety risk and infrastructure considerations. Staff recommends moving forward with the pilot deployment as a first phase, with future expansion to be considered following the evaluation of system performance and operational impact. Staff recommends that the council approve this agreement with XIT in the amount not to exceed $147,407.01 for the term July 1 to December 30 of this year to December 31st, 2028. It includes the installation of the hardware and a 3-year camera licensing agreement. It's a 3-year agreement. 1 year didn't significantly reduce the cost because it's basically licensing is the increase over the subsequent years, and installation is installation. And then whether it's there for 1 year or 3, it doesn't make any sense. There'd be an attempt to integrate that with our current. We have some cameras around City Hall, and there would be an attempt to integrate that with those systems. System would be monitored by city staff, as well as providing access to the sheriff's department. So with that, I will attempt to answer questions. I would point out that we do not currently have a surveillance policy in place, but we'll be bringing that before council before this project is completed.
Okay, real quick. My first question is that this is for 3 years for 7 locations.
Correct.
So it's $20,000 a year each. Excuse me, over 3 years. So, and that how much is the licensing then? And is that 7 locations? Is that
is that the first phase, or is that the test phase?
That's for it's a pilot program. As I recall in the conversation with Olivia, it's one phase in the sense of they install them and then they're in for this 3-year period.
7 locations.
7 locations.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Mr. Infante.
I have a bunch of questions.
Well, hopefully I have a bunch of answers.
Yeah. So you said that the sheriff's department's going to have access to this. Are they going to monitor it or just get it in case somebody reports something and they want to go look at what happened at that time?
Yes, it will not be live monitoring for the most part. I mean, this is an AI-enabled system, so if, for instance, somebody sees an individual with a red shirt, we can ask the system, give me all the video from this time frame for the individual, male, female, or unknown, just somebody wearing a red shirt. It has license plate recognition capabilities, so we can look for specific vehicles or specific license plate if it's in an angle that would provide that information.
Okay.
So it's very good.
So it stores all of this data for how long?
Based on record retention requirements, I believe at least a year, possibly 2. But it's cloud-based, so we're not putting it on the computer here.
So it's not, we're not storing it here. They're storing it someplace.
And that's part of the cost, is
Yeah.
in providing that storage capability.
And we have access to this at any time we want. Who is we?
It'll probably be me and Olivia, as well as the sheriff's lieutenant.
The sheriff, I understand. It's you and Olivia?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be part of the surveillance policy, though. I mean, ultimately, we'll make those decisions, who has access, under what conditions, that kind of stuff.
Because I'm going to assume it's going to require legal review
Yep.
before anything is done. So legal would need to have access, I assume, as well.
I don't know that I would need to have access, but this tonight is just a contract for the cameras. That what Randy was saying was that we're going to come back to you with an item to discuss the policy of how we would implement this pilot program and answer questions like that. But this is just to get the ball rolling for the contract so that we can start sourcing the cameras and be ready to put the physical pieces of the program together.
Thank you. When do we plan
Well,
to
the
put pieces together? When are we going to put?
There is a project plan in the package, which goes from July to September. So it looks to me like we'll be up and running for the pilot phase in September, right?
Is that right?
That's what the Gantt chart says. Is that right, guys?
That's the plan, yes.
That's the plan.
It's the point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to, we'll bring back all those policy considerations about how we want to have access and stuff at a later date.
Let me help out here. The software doesn't provide notifications. We would have to become informed of an incident or a reason to go back and review video in a window of time. We'd have to have data to tell us to go surveil the surveillance. Is that correct? There's no notification.
Yeah, it's not practical to sit and watch the video. I mean, obviously.
Exactly. So there's no real actual monitoring necessarily, and there's no notification function today. Does the software have that capability?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't believe so. I mean, if you recall, during Christmas last year or the year before, whenever it was, somebody walked through town and clipped a bunch of wires on the lights on the trees. There were 30, I believe, trees damaged, and the individual that was caught was only convicted of 1 because there was only video of him doing 1, even though the rest of them were done at the same time and same place under the same manner. Systems like this, if we knew, for instance, we're looking for a guy at this time, any camera, we could ask the system to search for that individual or somebody matching that description, and it would provide that data to us. If there were no other camera angles that would show it, then we wouldn't be able to see it. Similarly, there was an incident in Solvang Park during the Yule Fest, I believe, where a tourist set her bag down, was left unattended for just a couple of minutes, and it disappeared. No video surveillance, but we could have gone back, and having that information, we could have gone back and looked, assuming we had a camera in the area, we could have looked and say, who took the bag? So, I mean, those are situations where we're looking specifically, but it's not practical to have somebody sitting there watching it 24/7.
So that was one of my questions, but I think you really kind of settled that issue, is that there's really nothing that's triggering a notification. We really have available or visibility available when we think after we think we've had an incident.
Right.
So I was very curious what advice or what advisory details we received from the Sheriff Department on the selection and the feature set of what we're procuring. So, for example, do they use similar software and the same cameras and the same software? Does the Sheriff Department already use? It would be useful to know that it's integratable with their
Right.
system.
Well, we asked them to, and I don't know what the answer was, honestly. Again, that was not something I asked Olivia, and I did not see it in the staff report. But the request was that it be integrated with this current system.
Yeah, the report implied that the Sheriff Department gave us some help writing the RFP.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good to know just a framework, not necessarily all the details of what criteria they help us set.
Right.
And then I think that'll help us too. Anytime we bring in new technology, we have to have people and process that goes with it. So identifying the procedural, you react and response when we have an incident, or if we are inspecting something, that we have real clear defined guidelines. The public can understand what is in fact being surveilled. So we need to do that work pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Is it also likely the fire department will have access to this stuff? These
I don't think they would have access directly.
Well, I would think that's, again, part of our policy that needs to be
Right.
defined. So obviously the city will have the data, then it's up to us who we determine we can share that with.
Right.
Okay.
I did want to ask too, there were just really simple questions about the proposals. There's, I think,
Well, given that it was a pilot program, we discussed it internally and determined that 1 year wasn't long enough. 3 years for pilot purposes was probably right. And again, the idea would be, assuming it worked out, we would be adding more cameras to the system. I mean, the city of city of Lompoc has literally hundreds of cameras. I don't know that we would need that many, but we certainly could use more than 7. So I suspect what will happen, and assuming that the project is successful, or the pilot is successful, we will come back in a year and a half and say, we want to do more cameras. And then we would negotiate with the supplier, more than likely the same one, because why change at that point, and add cameras and get better coverage throughout the city.
so Lompoc wasn't one of their XIT's references.
I don't believe they were their
Is
customer.
this-
Lompoc's
do
done a
we
lot of their
know-
own
Is this the
installation.
same technology that Lompoc uses? And the same company?
I don't believe it's the same company. I believe they have the same cameras. But Lompoc has a crew of, I think, 5 or 6 individuals that are doing the actual installation and monitoring and all that stuff themselves.
I just have one last question, which is the budget, because I believe is this fitting into the budget value that I think the Measure U, or sorry, I can't get the new acronym down. The what's the new acronym? The Measure U committee
Right.
earmarked a certain amount, and this is within, I think, the dollar amount that they suggested we spend for
I believe so, yes.
enhancing surveillance capabilities in the city. Okay. Because that would also tell us why we're doing 3 years instead of 5.
Right.
And the budget is in this year's budget.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, I'm going to open up to public comment. If there's anybody in Zoom or locally that wants to make a comment or on this matter. Again, I'm hearing crickets, so we're going to close public comment for a moment and come back to council discussion. I had a quick question. Mr. Murphy, on here, on this list, it says a annex building option A. Where is annex building option A? Page 697. I'm not quite sure. City Hall is option B.
I took that to mean two things. So the annex building is the one that's right here, kitty corner, where Jenny and Jose are.
Okay.
Yeah. Annex, again, we have some cameras there already. And that would suggest to me that they're looking to integrate with those. But yeah, annex is the other building, kitty corner, where Public Works and Planning is.
Yeah, thank you. Just
I think we have a total of
taking
9 cameras currently.
Taking inventory here.
So sorry, Randy, that was an important point. That we're going to integrate, like, the surveillance, 2 additional existing surveillance cameras, so we would have a total of 9 points of view in the pilot program.
Plus the 7 provided by the pilot program.
That would be, 2 plus 7 is 9, total of 9.
No, we have 9 currently, then there's 7 more.
Okay,
The 9 were installed before I was ever
so are
here.
we integrating all of that, and that all of that video?
That's
will be
my
available?
understanding, is that we requested that they do that.
Well, that brings up the question of the existing cameras have been storing data where?
In the cloud?
They have been in the cloud all along.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same brand of cameras?
No.
Okay, but they're going to all be tied together and stored in one location.
I don't know that answer.
Okay.
The cameras we have, I just recently got access to the video of the cameras that we have in place, I would say within the last 4 to 6 months. They were here, I wasn't even aware they were working, and then somehow with the staff assistance, we got the password and were able to get into it. So, and it's not AI enabled. So, for instance, there was an issue where some vandalism occurred in some of the vehicles out here in the parking lot over a weekend, and camera angles aren't in such a way that it could see that lot. But I was looking at video of some of the other cameras around the building to see other vehicles or people going. It showed, you could search by activity. So if a cat walks by, it's going to say activity. If the wind blows a tree and the tree moves, it shows activity. So it's very cumbersome to look through the existing system. Unfortunately, we weren't able to identify any possible perpetrators of the vandalism that occurred. So it was a huge waste of my time. But that's, again, the beauty of the newer cameras is AI, and it says, I'm looking for a specific thing. I'm looking for a person, and so it's not going to show me a cat. You know, I'm looking for a white car. It's not going to show me a red one.
Above my level.
Will this have any effect with our existing law enforcement contract, or?
No.
It's just really for our own security purposes?
Security, it will may help solve. I know there was, I was speaking with Dean Albro, the city manager over in Lompoc recently, and they've got, again, a lot of their own surveillance cameras around town. And he said there was an incident occurring, some burglaries going on in various stores, and they had one of those trailer cameras, trailer-mounted cameras, and they were able to identify a vehicle that was at all these locations as these burglaries occurred. And so they monitored that particular vehicle, that person that was driving that vehicle, and they solved their crime. So, I mean, that's one of the beauties of the cameras and having it integrated with law enforcement is they look for patterns. They look for, sometimes they know who they're looking for, and they find that car drove by at, 2:57 p.m. 3 days ago, going in this direction, and it hasn't come back. So they know they're not in the area or whatever. I mean, it's very interesting the way some of these things help. So they do help solve some of the crimes. It's been a boon to a lot of the law enforcement agencies to have cameras like this.
Randy, you made a comment that gives me pause, and that is that you haven't had access to our existing camera content until recently, I think you said. Do we have real expertise on staff that
No.
understands the technology and would even know how to interface with XIT? Are they going to give us constant support even after the deployment of the first phase?
Support for,
The use of the app and the
well, that's
use
part of it, the
technology.
training
Get some
associated with
training.
that, yeah.
But are they going to take calls if we need some hand holding with the technology?
I couldn't answer that definitively, but I would suspect that, I mean, that's part of the contract is, licensing and
Here's I would love to give the green light to do this. I think probably conceptually there's very little reason not to. We feel like we're behind the times a little bit. But if we don't have policy, we don't have skill set, we're new to this, even though we've got technology already in place, it feels like we have a little bit more work to do to get have assurance that we don't spend the money and it becomes obsoleted because we aren't great at using the technology yet, and we haven't done the work of kind of putting some process and procedure around it yet. So I'm confident you would do it, but maybe we don't know how complicated this is going to become yet. I don't know. It doesn't. It sounds like we could have a few more questions answered and get a few more procedures put in place, and even just validate that technology is in fact commonly used, and we have some friends to call who can tell us,
Right.
is this your experience?
I'm certainly willing to listen to the will of the council. Like I said, it's not going to be tomorrow they're going to be installing this. It'll be a few weeks or a month, maybe even before they get started. I don't know what
Project Grant does say July.
Okay. But even then, it's not going to be an overnight thing, so.
I have a question as to whether, do you have any communication or feedback from our business district, whether it be the Chamber of Commerce or how this might fit in a BID environment?
Oh, not directly, no. I do know that our law enforcement group is favorable.
Right. Okay, what would be the options, or not options, but if we were to postpone this particular contract until we had a policy? Should we be having a policy before we do this? Chicken and the egg kind of a thing.
It is a little bit cart before the horse. But like I said, I looked at it like we get started on the installation, and around that time, I mean, we won't have a meeting now until August 11th. Right? Yeah, August 11th, so.
I was just going to say one thing to keep in mind is the pricing that's in the staff report. Just looking at it, it expires on July 19th. So if we did pass on it, we wouldn't be guaranteed these prices. It might change. Just because, a proposal is only good for so
Should be
long.
good for 30 days at least, right? When did we get them? June 19th.
How long would it take us to have a policy in place? Or a good working
copy? I think I heard it was coming back at the next meeting, right?
We have, Olivia did some legwork and we have a copy of, I think it might have even been presented, because we talked about cameras and, surveillance and that kind of stuff. And I recall that we talked about a policy at that point and provided an example. I believe it was a Port Authority of San Francisco that had a video policy that we liked very much, that we would probably pattern ours after. So it shouldn't take, I would suspect, with the caveat being that I'm going to be off for 2 weeks beginning next week, and Olivia's currently off for a week and a half, but we could certainly attempt to have it at our next council meeting.
Okay. Any other discussion? How would you like to proceed?
Well, frankly, I like the idea of it, and it is one of the goals that we're supposed to be set for the city. This gives us 3 years to test the process and see what's going to be, how much training is required. We do need to have that policy. So under the premise that we'll get a policy to review here, the next council meeting, I think that's 4 weeks away now? Yeah. Then I will go ahead and make a motion that we approve the camera setup. I forget what the policy thing is.
For 3 years. The 3-year pilot.
The 3-year pilot plan,
Per
yes.
staff recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve 8C.
That's what I was looking for.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Infante.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Claudia Arona.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith.
Yes.
Councilmember Elizabeth Arona.
Yes.
Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. And hopefully we'll have a draft of a policy at our next meeting.
I will do my best.
Good. Okay, that concludes all the agenda items. Any last comments from anyone before?
I'd like to thank everybody for the great job that they did at the 4th of July Parade and Festival.
That was nice.
You should probably thank the Rotary, too. They put on a great event
They did.
every year for us, and the fireworks, too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
And I want to, again, we have cookies for celebrating our esteemed colleague, Anna Marie, for her birthday.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy, for the cookies, and thank you, Anna Marie, for all you do. With that being said, we'll see you again. Our next meeting will be August 11th. And until then, thank you. We're adjourned at 7:54. Thank you.